Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this evening's business workshop, Marketing 101. Thank you for joining us. My name is Drea Flores, and I am the business librarian at the Aurora Public Library District. Tonight, I'm thrilled to introduce our guest speaker, Miranda Rodriguez. Miranda is the founder and lead marketing coach for her company, Marketing for the Uninhibited. She's a seasoned marketing professional who helps her clients develop and maintain marketing strategies that are simple, realistic, and fun so that they can take control of their marketing. Tonight, Miranda will explain the basics of marketing and lead a discussion on how you can build your own customized marketing action plan. Just as a reminder, this workshop is being recorded and will be available on YouTube for future viewing. Before we begin, I just want to let you know about a workshop we're having in February. On the 2nd, which is a Tuesday, we'll have a workshop on succession planning, and that's with guest speaker Harriet Parker of the Illinois Small Business Development Center at Waubonsie Community College. At the end of this session, I will be sending you a link to our workshop evaluation survey, and we hope you can fill that out. It's important to us. It should take only about 5 minutes, and your answers are completely anonymous. So without further ado, I'd like to turn this workshop over to you, Miranda.
Thank you, Drea.
Okay, hold on. There you go.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. All right, I never get intros like that. It's great. Okay, let me start my presentation. Okay, everyone. Welcome to Marketing 101. Thank you so much for being here, Joe. I appreciate it. Today, well, to start, my name is Miranda Rodriguez, and I am the owner and marketing coach at Marketing for the Uninhibited. So as a marketing coach, I'm not the one who does the marketing for you, but I work with you to develop customized 4-week marketing action plans that you can implement on your own to incrementally grow your business and hit your goals. And I do work with a lot of creatives and a lot of local creatives. So you may recognize some people around here. It's always really fun when people have been interacting on social media and then they get here and they're able to connect. So hopefully some more people join and then that will happen. For today's agenda, we do have a full agenda, and you will need something to write with and take notes with because we're going to have you do some exercises. We're going to go through, answer the question, what is marketing, mission statements, brand pillars, target audience, content strategy, goal setting, creating a 4-week marketing action plan, the 1-page brand guide, and then questions and networking. So I do ask, well, for today, if you want, feel free to come off mute or to type your questions in the chat. And then if I don't see them right away, we will definitely have time for questions at the end. So if you want, if it's easier, you can just save them for the end, or you can feel free to come off mute and just interrupt me there. But I can't always see the chat when I'm presenting. So if they're in there, we'll wait till the end. All right. So to start, what is marketing? Okay, I like to start the presentations with this because I think everyone always likes the takeaway. So if you want one book, let me see. I'm not sure that you can see it. Can you see this, Drea? Anyway, I recommend the book This is Marketing by Seth Godin. And it's a very practical, easy to read marketing book. And it will really, this is kind of what my philosophy of marketing is based on. And that's that marketing should be simple, doable, and fun. And that at its core, marketing is just a connection between two humans, right? You want another person to trust you enough to pay for your services or products. So how do we build that relationship? And that's what we're going to develop today. Just some quotes from the book that I liked. Number one, most of all, marketing is change. So most of us have set off in our industries to create change of some sort. We saw an opportunity to do things differently. We have a strength that someone else may not possess in the industry, and we're going to play to that. So with marketing, we're looking to create change, which sometimes means ruffling some feathers along the way and being comfortable with that. And then another quote he has that I liked is that your strategy, your commitment to a way of being and a story to be told and a promise to be made can change everything. So today we're going to work on developing your story, the story that you're telling your clients and why and how to resonate with them and make that emotional connection. Okay, so this is when we're going to get into like the nitty gritty. So we're going to, the way this is going to flow is I'll define it, and then I'll give you, the next slide will be some questions, some prompts for you to work through it. And you will get the slides tomorrow. So if it feels like we're going fast or you want to go back and take more time on a certain exercise, you'll have access to all of the content in the presentation to be able to like start and stop and do the work. In an in-person setting, which is what we would do pre-COVID, is have this workshop in person, then you would get the time to work on your own in class and then collaborate. So depending on time, we may get to a point where we have time for sharing as well. So to start, we're going to start with mission statement, which is, one of the most common things people want to figure out when they're starting a business or growing their business. And this definition comes from HubSpot. So a mission statement is intended to clarify the what, the who, and the why of a company. On the other hand, a vision statement describes where the company wants a community or the world to be as a result of the company's services. So mission statement is going to be much more specific and narrow focused. And your vision statement is going to be a broader, big picture, like what's the impact I want to have on my community. A mission statement is the roadmap for the company's vision statement. So if your big picture goal is this, how are we going to get there? We're going to talk to these people and we're going to do these things to create this change. And that's the mission statement. So the next slide then is the who, the what, the why, and the how. So number one, you want to ask yourself, what promise is your business making? What's the value you're delivering to your target audience, to your customer? Why should they spend money with you, right? Essentially, that's what this is. Like, we are getting them to a point where they trust us enough to spend money with us. When there are so many other options, regardless of the industry you're in, there are always other options. So what makes doing business with you so special and worth their time? And what change are you looking to make within their lives, within their industry? So the promise I make to you is that I'm going to make marketing simple, doable, and fun. And you're going to show up for this workshop or you're going to show up for coaching and we're going to have a good time doing it. And you're going to feel like marketing your business is something you can do, right? A lot of times it feels overwhelming and stressful and expensive, but this is the promise I make to you, that it's going to be simple, doable, and fun. And then number two, who are you trying to help with that promise? So who's the audience, the intended audience? Now we're going to do an exercise all together on target audience. So if you have trouble with that right now, that's okay. You can skip that one and we'll elaborate later. And then number three, why do you do this? What is the belief that you have? And this one's going to take a little more time for you to get a little more specific, right? And a lot of times what I see happen is that I had this experience the other day with a client. She read me her mission statement. And then when I asked her why, it was so much more in depth and so much more specific and so much more colorful. Like the words she was using were elaborate and descriptive. And then the mission statement she had for her business was just kind of bland. And it was short and it was concise, wasn't very specific. It didn't tell me a lot about the business. And I just thought, like, compared to that other definition that she gave me, if I had the option, I would have worked with this person, the one that was more elaborate and I felt was honest and specific, versus this one where I'm like, meh, it didn't really resonate with me, right? So think about your beliefs. Why do you do this? Why have you set off on this path? And then number four, why should people pay attention to you? What makes you different? What strengths do you have compared to others in your industry? What experience do you have? Maybe experience is a strength, or maybe you don't have a lot of experience yet and this is something new for you. So then find something else. Why should people pay attention to you? Maybe it's your personality, maybe it's your beliefs about the way you're doing this, whatever it is. Just think about that. And if you have a hard time with that, you can kind of come at it from a different way and think about why you pay attention to certain brands, what stands out about certain brands or people that you resonate with, that you spend money with, that connects you to them. And then kind of flip it back on yourself and like, okay, now how do I want to connect with my people? Why should people pay attention to me? Right? What do I want to be known for? Let's see who joined. Does anyone have any questions? All right. All right, moving right along to brand pillars. So this is one of the most fun exercises that we do. When I do this in a one-on-one setting, people get really, you can see the light bulbs go off and they start thinking about their business as separate from themselves. So as entrepreneurs, especially in the beginning, solopreneurs, when you're the only person in your business, it's hard to separate your business from your own personal identity. So, and in a lot of ways, you are the spokesperson for your business, but your business, your brand is the personality of your business. And so, what we're going to start to do here is define your brand. So, we're going to work on 3 to 4 words that you can use to describe your brand in a succinct way. And what's fun about these words is you can start sprinkling these words into your messaging, and that's going to help you become more consistent with your messaging. So in marketing, we really want to be consistent. We want to be consistent in the way that we're speaking to our audience and the way we're speaking about our business and our brand and our offerings at every point. So like from Instagram to Facebook to your website, at every opportunity, you want to be consistent. Because if you came here based off of my Instagram and then this is incongruent with what you saw on Instagram, that's confusing, right? And that doesn't further the relationship of trust that we're trying to establish together. So having 3 to 4 words that you can use to describe your brand in a succinct way will help you become more consistent, and it helps your audience recognize your brand. Like, yes, Miranda, marketing that's simple, doable, and fun. That's my thing. Um, and you really want everything that the company does to be described by these words. So like they're umbrella terms, right? So you can throw them on your website, you can throw them in your Instagram bio. There is a company, a gym I follow in California, that they have their brand pillars actually like in the bottom of each Instagram post in their comments. They just end with that every time. They're reinforcing who they are with their 3 pillars. So to start, this is another exercise. Number 1, you're going to list all the words and characteristics that you use to describe your business. So you can just brain dump here, like just write all the words you use to describe your business right now. And if you're having a hard time thinking of words you would use to describe your business, you can think of words that your customers have used, maybe some words that other trusted sources, like I know most of us, especially right now, we are at home. We brainstorm a lot with our significant others or friends or family. So just thinking through like those conversations and words that have come up in those instances to describe your business. And then I'll be quiet for a minute and let you do that. Okay, and then as you're working on that, you want to add in a list of all the feelings you want your customers to associate with your business. So again, this is where we want to talk about our business in a way that's going to resonate with our target audience in a way that we want it to, right? We want those things to be congruent. And again, we don't want marketing surprises are kind of like the worst surprises. Like if you think you're paying for something and then you get it and you're like, wait, that's not what I thought this was at all. That's not congruent marketing, right? We want it to be consistent and we need it to all work together so that we can take away those not so fun, surprising moments for customers, because that's when you'll lose customers. So it's important that we start here with the words and the characteristics we would use to describe our own brand, and then thinking about the feelings we want our customers to associate with that. And this is a good opportunity if you have a business and you've gotten reviews or feedback, or even just like maybe a nice thank you note or email, to really think back about the words customers use themselves to describe working with you. And maybe if you don't have those available right now, that's okay, but that's something you can go back and check after this workshop or tomorrow and just kind of see, because it's always eye-opening. You learn something about the way your business is actually impacting people by listening to the words they're using to describe it. So, and then the point is to start talking about your business using their own words. So like they're doing the selling for you, your target audience, you're using their words to talk about your business. So that's complete like empathetic marketing. You're getting inside of their head and you're resonating with them and you're saying, I see you and I understand you, and here's how I can help you. So your brand pillars list all the words or characteristics you use to describe your business, and then list all of the feelings you want your customers to associate with your business. And then you're just going to kind of narrow it down. And this is just based on your brand, what you want your business to be. So circle the 3 to 4 that resonate most. And then when I do this in person with people, it's not something we finalize at that time. I have them sleep on it, talk about it, sit with it, maybe bounce it off of a couple other people. And then by the time we come back for our next meeting, they can finalize it. And some people know right away, but most of the time you have to take some time with that. So I'll give you just a minute to kind of wrap that up. And remember, you can come back to all this stuff tomorrow. Oh, there's someone in the, oh. Hey, Sheris. All right. So now we are going to move on to target audience. Sorry, guys, I had a meeting just before this, so I feel like I've been, my throat is a little dry. All right, target audience. This is everyone's favorite exercise, whether I do it in person or in workshops, because it's the most enlightening and it's probably going to transform your marketing the most. So with target audience, we really want to understand, who are you talking to? And this doesn't mean, this is way less about having a niche and like speaking to a specific group of people. It's just about understanding that there is an individual, another human on the end of your communication. So whether it's an Instagram post, a blog, a video, just knowing that you're speaking to someone, it changes the way you're talking to them. It changes the tone, it changes the formalities. You tend to relax a little bit. It kind of can take the pressure off of like, okay, if I just focus on speaking to this one client, then I'm not so worried about speaking to the entire internet, right? And what are they going to think and what are they going to say? So it takes the pressure off a little bit. Excuse me, one. I seriously have all the drinks. You guys should see this. I've got tea, sparkling water, regular water. I feel like I need a cough drop. Okay. So who do you want to listen to you? The first question is, who are you talking to? Like when you post on Instagram, who are you hoping sees it? And then who do you want to listen to you? Who is your intended audience? And then who are you looking to change? right? So who are you looking to make an impact with? So just kind of sit with those questions a little bit. And then we're going to go straight into the exercise, which is, so bear with me now. So close your eyes and just kind of get into the zone, right? You're a business owner, you're attending a marketing presentation. And we really want to visualize your target audience. So imagine you're at a networking event back when those used to be, in person. And you're talking with someone, and the routine. You introduce yourself, you guys exchange like pleasantries, you talk about your business, and then you tell them what you do, and their eyes light up when you tell them what you do. So just imagine that encounter, right? You may or may not have had that before. Okay. So think about that. And now tell me about that person. What's their name? What do they do for a living? How old are they? Are they married? What are their hobbies? Do they have kids? Do they have pets? Kind of build the persona. And then I want you to think about the personality. This is the most important part. Key personality traits and characteristics about this person that makes them an ideal fit for you. So most of the clients that I work with and people that are a good match for marketing coaching are ones that are driven, they are autonomous, they're used to doing things on their own, they're used to implementing and taking action on their own. Most of them are pursuing personal development in other areas of their life, like they have a therapist or a life coach or a personal trainer. Or if they don't hire those things, they're interested in those things. They have like personal practices like meditation, gratitude, working out. They take care of themselves. They're interested in that, because marketing coaching, I'm not doing the work for you. So you really have to be disciplined to be able to take what I give you after a 1-hour meeting and implement that on your own. And you can always tell who's not doing the work, right? Because we have a meeting every month. So really think about the personality traits and the characteristics of that person that makes them an ideal fit for you. And if you're having troubles visualizing that person, then think about, who are you not working with? Sometimes that's just a lot easier to be like, nope, I don't work with that. Like anyone who wants me to run their social media for them, that's a hard pass. No, thank you. I have done it, don't love it, not going to do it for a living. And there are people that are great at it. Like I have people I refer, anyone who comes to me looking for that, I refer them out. It's like, talk to my friend Stacy or talk to whomever, she's great at that. So that's where having a network and being able to refer to people is really helpful too, because then you're not just like shutting that potential client down, but you're giving them an option to move forward elsewhere. And then another question to ask yourself, which a lot of people like, is who's your favorite customer and why? Maybe you have a customer that you work with now or you have in the past, and you're like, man, if I could just have 20 of that person, this would be great. So think through that. Oh, I'm going to check the chat. Let's see. Well, we're happy you're here, Sheris. Okay. All right. So does anyone have any questions about target audience? So the point of this exercise is, again, you want to visualize who you're talking to on the other end, but it's really not about looks. It's just about the type of person. And this is about the type of person you want to attract to work with you, right? So we want to make sure that the marketing we're putting out there is attracting the right type of person, which goes back to the brand pillars. And the words we use to describe our brand, the emotions we want people to feel working with us, this all works together. All right. And so we're going to keep it moving on to content strategy. So this is just a basic content strategy, It's meant to provide the structure for you to grow your content. So a lot of people come to me and they ask about social media algorithms and how many times a day should they be posting, and all of these things. And I don't have those answers. I don't have a set time of day for you to post. I don't have a number of hours per day that you should be working on your marketing. It's completely tailored to your lifestyle. That is the benefit of having customized 4-week marketing plans and working with a marketing coach who's going to create a template specifically for you and not just something everyone can plug into, right? So, with your content strategy, especially right now when I know kids are home and time is limited, especially like quiet time, alone time, you're probably going to hear my family get home here shortly. Um, with your content strategy, it's important that you're just showing up for your audience and showing your face. Oh my goodness, people do not build relationships with logos. They build relationships with other people, and they build relationships with based off you and your personality. So showing your face is the first step, and then slowly but surely you'll get more comfortable, putting your face out there, and then we'll start to reveal your personality a little more. And then you'll be like me when I'm just like all I don't care anymore. I'm on IG stories, I'm on IGTV. I've got 2-hour long podcasts where alcohol was involved on YouTube, where it's really, I mean, it's a business podcast and it's really fun, but it creates a different environment when you add a drink. So really, you're going to get to a point where you're comfortable doing those things, and it's okay if you're not there yet, but at least start showing your face a little more, letting us see you, and then figure out what turns you on. So I mentioned this earlier, but part of marketing, one thing to do with marketing your business is to look at the marketing of other businesses you love, that you follow, that you trust, that you interact with, and to ask yourself, like, what turns you on about the way that they're marketing their business? And is it something that you can do in your business in your own way, right? So it's important when we're looking to others who are maybe farther down the path than we are to know that we can't just copy their path. Success doesn't work that way. So you have to create your own path to success, but you can get inspiration from other people doing things that resonate with you. And I think it's important for this to look outside of your industry. Sometimes looking within our industry, we can get caught up in the judgment, the competition, comparing ourselves. So when you're looking, like if you are in the marketing industry, or for example, I had a client, she's in the candle industry. When we were doing this part of her planning, we looked to the beer industry because that was something, she loves craft beer and it's something she could relate to. And there are a lot of craft beer companies that are doing a lot of really cool stuff that are keeping their breweries small while expanding their businesses, things like that. And that was something that was important to her. So look outside of your industry to find inspiration for what turns you on about marketing. And then be consistent. Be consistent with your messaging, be consistent with who you're speaking to, be consistent with your offerings. Don't overcomplicate your offerings. Don't confuse people, because if you're confused about what you're offering and what time, what price, what thing, they're going to be confused and they're going to lose interest and they're going to move on to someone who's less confusing. So be consistent with those things, and just also be consistent with how often you're showing up, right? Like, don't just ghost us for a week or two without explanation. And it's okay to be transparent and to set expectations and to say, hey, like I'm going on vacation. You see that a lot during the holidays, like people letting you know, like, hey, we're not going to be doing a whole lot of business stuff here for the next couple of weeks, but check back in January. Or I've been pretty vocal about the fact that, like, I needed to start January. I needed to start this year slow. And that's what I'm doing. So it's not as active as some other months for me, right? So show up, your face is important, figure out what turns you on, and be consistent. Okay, so how do you do this? Where does your ideal audience spend their time online, in person, business, and personal, right? So really try to get to know your target audience here. We want to know where they're spending their time, where they're spending their money, What are they scrolling? When they're on their phone late night, like what are they looking at? Are they on Instagram? Are they on TikTok, Snapchat? Are they Pinterest? Really try to figure out where they are so that then you can get in front of them where they are. The point is to go to them. And number two, ask yourself, what is your preferred method of communication? So I actually recorded a podcast today that's going to come out next week, all about playing to your strengths. And that's exactly what this number two is about, understanding your own communication strengths. You guys have seen my face all over the internet. I'm comfortable on video and I'm comfortable talking, but not everybody is. And that's okay. So it's about understanding your own strengths. Maybe it's writing. I mean, you're a good writer and you want to start a blog. We can create a strategy around that. We can market your business around your strengths. Maybe it's audio, no video. Maybe it's in person, which obviously you're going to have to work on that right now. And maybe it's worksheets, programs, teaching, workshops. What else? Just think about how you're most comfortable communicating. And if you're having a hard time with that, you can ask yourself, like, what would your best friend say? Your significant other, your kid. Kids are so honest. Side note, but my stepdaughter the other day, she was home from school sick, and I work from home. So she asked me just point blank, she was like outside shoveling and was like, when are you gonna get a job? And I was like, oh. Actually, I do have a job, but it just looks different than all the jobs that you are used to and everyone that works in your life. So that was a funny moment. Anyway, so just and you can ask them to give you feedback. Like, hey, I got this question in a marketing workshop. Like, what do you think my strengths are as far as communicating? And then play to those strengths. Start there when creating your content strategy. All right, any questions on that stuff? I think we're doing okay on time. Yep. All right, here we go. Goal setting. It's the beginning of the year. This is a perfect time to do this exercise. You can also adjust and reevaluate your goals at any time. We like to go back to them at the end of each quarter and kind of check. I also have my clients track their numbers every month so that they're just aware, like, are they trending towards their goals? And progress isn't linear. So like maybe for the first 6 months of the year, you're not hitting your goals. And then all of a sudden, bam, like you start to hit them, right? So but with goal setting, it is important to have goals as part of your marketing plan so you know where you're aiming. You know where all of the action and the effort and the energy you're putting into showing up consistently and trying new things and showing your face, like you know what you're working towards. And so ask yourself, where are you aiming? A lot of people, a lot of creatives, the goal is to get off of Etsy or to launch their own website, their own online shop, or maybe their own storefront. And sometimes it's not that. And sometimes it's just like, I just want to cover my overhead for my business. I love what I'm doing. I just want to bring in a little bit of money. So you decide. It's not always monetary. It's not always like the next big thing. Goals are personal. So really spend time on that and understand what you're working towards. And then for the purpose of this workshop, I want you to have one thing you'd like to accomplish in the next 4 weeks. So even if you need to come back to this goal setting exercise to do some of the longer term goals, like tomorrow when you have the replay, for right now, just write down one thing you'd like to accomplish in the next 4 weeks. And this should be realistic and it should be a reach goal. So something you're not going to accomplish like tomorrow, something that's a little out of your comfort zone, but also something that's not so unrealistic, like it would take a miracle, right? Where you're already setting yourself up for failure right away. So we just want one thing you'd like to accomplish in the next 4 weeks that's realistic and a reach. And then also ask yourself, where do you want to be 1 year from now? So much can change in a year. I think we can all attest to that right now. And then where do you want to be in 3 years, in 10 years? I asked these questions because I had a client once that I had been working with for like a year at that point, and she provides a one-on-one service. And I just always, we had been talking about growth and how she could grow, and she had never articulated to me that her goal was to sell the one-on-one service side of her company, like sell the clients in the service and offload that part of her business so that she could pursue education and training full time. Like that just never came up. And so I ask you that so you can really be envisioning the life the lifespan of your business. Like what does this look like in the long run? And that will help us to create a sustainable business right now so that you can grow your business in a way that you want to and that feels good to you, and that you can sustain over the course of, the next 10 years, if that's the goal. And for some people it's not, and that's okay too. Okay, I'll give you a few minutes to wrap up goals. All right. 4-week marketing action plan. So this is where all the marketing magic happens. There is no marketing without taking action in your business. So we're going to use the 4-week goal that we just wrote down. Okay, so take that goal and like put it on top of a fresh page of paper. And then you're going to make a list of all the things you need to do to accomplish that goal. For example, if you're going to start a podcast, then you need to research microphones. You need to buy a microphone. You need to have a recording software on your computer. You need to have a quiet space and time to record. I've been seeing on Instagram a lot of people are recording podcasts in their closet because the clothes make a nice sound buffer, and you can like go in and close the doors, whatever, maybe hide from your kids just to get some like 20 minutes of quiet time. So make a list of everything you need to do. If you're going to launch a podcast, you also need to figure out how you're going to get your podcast onto other platforms like Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play. So just do a brain dump of every single item you need to do, big or small, to achieve that 4-week goal.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
Just to make sure that I'm on target with the goal for the next 4 weeks.
Mhm.
I have like an ultimate year goal of opening a storefront, right?
Yay.
Yeah. And then I have a shorter term goal of like finding markets where I could sell my product, which might be happening in 4 weeks. But in order for it to be a reach, because I've already been submitting applications, I'd like to start a newsletter and communicate that way because I'm a writer. Would that be, it looks like from your face that it is.
Yes,
You look happy.
that is a
Okay, good.
goal for 4
Okay.
weeks. Because you can do so for the newsletter, like you'd have to figure out what platform you're going to use. You'd have to like compile your emails. That's a perfect goal for this 4-week time frame. Yay, that's exciting.
Thank you.
And newsletters are great. Like I don't talk about them a lot as examples. I don't know why, because social media and podcasting are like where I'm more active. But you're having a newsletter, having a direct line of communication with your target audience is so important, because the more you nourish that newsletter, the more opportunity you have to like sell to your existing customer base. And like for you, Joe, that's so perfect. Yay, that's great. And so once you have your list of all your to-dos, so like, you're going to need to compile the emails you have already. You're going to need to like find a email marketing platform. I use MailChimp, but there are tons out there. Make a list of all those things. And then you'll need to, at the very end, send your first newsletter. So creating that will take some time, especially the first time around. So make a list of everything and then put that list in order. So like starting tomorrow, what do you need to do first? What's the first step towards accomplishing this goal in the next 4 weeks? And then just put everything in order of priority. And then, and this you're probably going to have to come back to too. but you're going to want to get your calendar or your planner, however you track your time, and put those to-dos in order straight on your calendar or planner. I use Google Calendar, and if it's not on there, it doesn't get done usually. But so anytime we're reaching towards a new goal, we're developing a new habit, we're doing something we haven't done before. So it's important that we get those action items on the calendar so that we can show up consistently taking action. And then after the first month, you'll probably be set. Like if you're going to send your email every month or every week, whatever it is, you're going to get into a routine where you'll no longer need to put that on the calendar, and it'll just become part of your daily business habits. So put those items on the calendar. And then really the hardest part of this whole thing is sticking to your plan. And now, of course, marketing plans come with flexibility. So like and right now everyone has been forced to be more flexible. We took my stepdaughter to school today and the school was closed. So that was fun. We were not aware that they're closed this week because of a COVID exposure. We knew Friday they were closed anyway. So everyone's having to be a little more flexible. So give yourself the space and the grace to be flexible with your marketing plan. But that doesn't mean procrastinating and just skipping it because you don't want to do it that day, right? So take advantage of the time you do have and get some stuff done that's going to get you closer to your goals. So sticking to the plan is the most challenging part of where we'll start to lose people, and where people don't achieve goals because they just didn't stick to the plan. The plan is the easy part. Okay, so this is the one-page brand guide, and I did put this brand guide in the chat. And if you can't access that, then we're going to send that out tomorrow. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. 1 second. Honestly, winter, and it's so dry, and we have this old house. I'm just like, I'm struggling. Okay, so we've done all the work to fill in this one-page brand guide, and you'll get the PDF template tomorrow. I put it in the chat. You can download it there. You can print it out if you have a printer and fill it in that way. You can recreate this on a spare sheet of paper if you want. But the point is for you to be able to see your business at a glance on one page. So we have your company mission, your brand pillars, your target audience, your business goals, your content strategy, and then your 4-week marketing action plan. And for that space, just put like the first 4 or 5 items that, what's going to carry you through the first week, maybe, and write those down. Or if the whole thing will fit, go ahead. But usually it doesn't, but just write the first few things down for the next 4 weeks. And the point of this is that you can share this with other professionals. So like if you hire someone to help you with your website, or you're going to do a partnership with someone for a launch, or just for yourself to have that available so that you start referencing your brand guide to make business decisions versus, like going off of a whim, right? We want to get to a point where we're making more strategic business decisions, and so that we remain consistent so that we can build trust with our audiences. And this is where you'll start. And I think there was a question, so I'm just going to check. Let's see. Oh yeah, there it is. Perfect. So Drea just shared it again, so you have it right there. So you're going to take the time, whether you're ready to now or maybe tomorrow, to fill in all of these blanks. And again, with your target audience, we're focusing less on visual traits and more on personality and characteristics. Any questions about that? I feel like that's pretty straightforward. Okay, so yeah, so that's it for this one. I feel like we elaborated on everything. So if you guys have questions, just let me know, because we do have time. We're doing great on time. So just before we get into questions, moving forward together, you all have access to a free 30-minute consultation with me, and you can schedule that at marketinguninhibited.com. And obviously I didn't update this last slide, so you can receive 10% off when you commit to 6 months of marketing coaching. with this presentation. So feel free to take advantage of that, to schedule the free 30-minute consultation. Even if you don't think you're ready for marketing coaching just yet, the free 30-minute consultation is a great way to kind of wrap this up and to make sure you have clarity around all of your items on the one-page brand guide, and to make sure you're confident moving forward with your action plan. And sometimes that's all people need to get it rolling. I've seen people like move into not their own storefronts, but getting their products out there in other stores. I mean, this will really, the point of the 4-week marketing action plan in this workshop is to get you in the habit of creating a plan, sticking to it, and achieving your goals. Because achieving goals is a habit that not everyone has, right? Like people set goals and don't achieve them all the time. It's January. Everyone has resolutions. So this is just to really show you that you are capable of implementing and taking action with your own marketing plan and growing your business in a way that works for you. So that free 30-minute consultation can be done at marketinguninhibited.com. And then I also put my email in the chat, so feel free to email me directly with questions, or if you want to set up your consultation that way, that's great too. And then I think you guys know, but I'm on Instagram and I'm pretty active on Instagram. So you can find me at Marketing Uninhibited. And then I also have a podcast, and I just realized this week that today I recorded the 98th episode of the podcast. So almost 100 episodes of the podcast. I think I've gotten into a really good rhythm now, and it's full of simple, doable, and fun marketing tips, guest interviews, and just personal stories. Now I try to keep them 30 minutes or less, but if you go back to some of the older ones, you may recognize some entrepreneurs back when they were getting started. So that might be fun. Well, also, me in the beginning, but they were a little longer back then. So anyway, feel free to check those out. You can subscribe to the Marketing for the Uninhibited podcast wherever you subscribe to podcasts, Apple, iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify. And I usually share, when I've posted a new one on Instagram, and you can check out the IGTV videos there as well. All right. Thank you guys so much for being here. And thank you to the library for hosting us and for promoting this event. This is really exciting to have, and I feel like a perfect time. People are just getting back into the swing of things. So now we'll take this opportunity for questions and for networking, if anyone has any questions or they want to speak on any of those things. I think it's just us. Was that helpful, Joe?
Extremely helpful.
Good.
I'm not from a business background, or, I worked retail for, the first 10 years of my life. And I have my family has some ties to commercial work, but I come from a humanities background, and I feel like the past 6 to 8 months have been like a crash course, and I'm just trying to soak up as much as I can. And this has been like, I feel like I can really take some ideas I've had floating around and implement them now.
Yes, that's so great.
I'm so grateful for your time and for Drea and for the library hosting this. It's been really helpful.
Yes, thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad, because that's how this workshop was developed, because people kept coming to me and being like, I have so many ideas, I don't know what to do, and it's common, and for all of us, to have that idea generator, but not know how to put an action plan together to execute that. And so good. I can't wait to see what you do. That's the fun part. Usually after this, I get to watch everyone start to take action and put their plan out there. So that'll be really fun. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And I want to thank you, Miranda, for taking time out of your schedule, for sharing your expertise. And thank you for attending our workshop. And I hope you guys got a lot out of it. And I hope you guys have a great evening.
Thank you. You too.
Take care, guys.
All right, I'll stop sharing so you have the controls back.
All right, guys, have a good night.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.
Bye.